a hip flexor and psoas stretch. We're going to start with one leg up on a bench, a chair, or you can even do this on stairs as long as you have something to hold on to. You don't want the step to be up too high towards your body. You want to kind of be able to keep it down and relaxed on something. And as you get loose, you can start to extend your leg out further or keep it in close if you want to work on a little more knee flexion. So we'll just start stacked with our hips over our foot, our shoulder and ear over our hips. So then this is all staying pretty tight. We're keeping our pelvic stack the best we can for now. And to get a little into the psoas, we're going to create some low back flexion. So we're going to do a little tuck of the low back. So if your back is arched really big like this, then we're going to pull it in and just get a little more into that low back hip flexion. And we'll start to push the hips forward and gently press down into the floor with that back leg to help keep that glute nice and stable and work into that quad. And you can hold here or you can press out a couple of times and go in, but try to find a nice even stretch. Somewhere between a 1 and a 10, you kind of want it to be between a 5 and a 7 so that you're not overstretching this muscle. It does get blamed for a lot of things in the low back area. And a lot of the times we actually need to strengthen the glutes and not just stretch our psoas. But if your front hip flexors are really tight from sitting all day, then this will help loosen up that hip flexor joint. So I'll show that one more time. Hips nice and stacked. I'll show a couple of things that usually go wrong here. So usually as we're pushing the hips forward, I've got my low back tucked in. And as I'm pushing forward, some people will tend to fall forward over their leg, and that takes all the stretch out of the hip flexor, definitely out of the psoas. So we want to stay lifted nice and tall. The other thing I see is people will lift their chest up, so they'll arch their back and sit up a little too tall in the chest. I want you to keep your ribs stacked over your hips. So then we keep the side obliques nice and tight, and maybe a little rectus abdominis tight here as we're pushing into that stretch, pressing the heel down and bending that knee forward into this lunge here.